Hey YouTube, my name is Amanda. I just wanted to pop in and introduce myself to the weight loss community. I am a longtime lurker of specifically many of the VSG vertical sleeve gastrectomy weight loss videos. I am in the process myself of getting the surgery. I've tried a couple times to make a video to introduce myself. Turns out I'm a little bit more technologically challenged than I thought I was, and so making a YouTube video has been very complicated. In addition to that, I am an at-home homeschooling mom to 6 kiddos and have been very busy and just have not committed the time to sitting down here to say hello. But today is the day that I got my insurance approval and my date for surgery, so I wanted to be sure to say hello. And to specifically plan and commit to record my journey. I would like to record weekly like many of you do, but realistically it'll probably be much less frequent. So quick hello to all of you. Thank you so much for your dedication to posting. I really honestly appreciate so much all of the effort and knowing how hard I've worked just to make this one video. I recognize the sacrifice that each of you make, and so thank you for that. I would give some shout outs, but I primarily watch less of Sarah and Leah VSG, and so shout out to you two. And if you know, as I continue to learn names and follow specific stories, I will I'll be sure to say hello and specifically refer to things that inspire me. But both of you are very inspirational to me, so thank you so much for posting. So this process for me has been honestly quite quick. I saw the surgeon for the very first time on August 5th. It was the date of my 13th wedding anniversary, and I have been pursuing VSG surgery specifically for a couple of years at that point, through research, and then connected with the surgeon about a year and a half ago. Found out kind of in the process of waiting, doing seminar and waiting for the appointment, that I was pregnant with our 6th child. So all of that went on hold, and I kicked it back up after he was born. So my specific surgery process has just been right at 3 months. I saw the surgeon on August 5th, did my seminar right at that same time, did the right away got my primary care provider to sign off on surgery, and you know, lab work, endoscopy, psych evaluation, did my nutrition visits, not quite a month apart, or not quite 30 days apart, but right at a calendar month apart. So August 5th, early September, early October, and then November 5th was my 4th and final insurance required nutrition visit. So very quick process in that regard. The interesting thing was that my my insurance process required that specific 3 months. My BMI was over 40, so that's kind of an automatic then. I was barely over 40, so I was kind of just holding through those few months. I lost a couple of pounds, but didn't really kind of allow myself to get under 40 because I could never get a very clear answer about what insurance would do for that. If they would deny because I had gotten to 39.9, could never really get a very clear answer about my specific insurance. So to be safe, I just kind of would maybe have a lunch on the way to the nutrition office, or I would have a steak a couple of days before, which kind of sits for a while in my stomach. So just kind of held right there until my final visit, and then was given the authorization to go ahead and work on losing. So had my final visit a couple days ago, and found out on that day, at that point my insurance packet was supposed to be submitted, but the goal was that the insurance coordinator was going to work everything up. Everything was there and ready. She was going to prepare the packet, and then on the 5th was going to just attach the final notes from my nutritionist and send everything over, and the waiting for approval would begin at that point. So I was thinking like mid to late November before I even heard anything. But had my final nutrition visit, found out on that day that they had submitted my packet already on Halloween, and all that we were waiting for at that point was the final nutrition notes, which would be sent over as an attachment. So I was a little bit nervous, thinking, oh my gosh, here all my stuff is on a desk before I've completed their minimum requirements. So I was very worried that they were going to kick it back as a delay, then we were going to have to appeal, and it would, sort of lengthen the process when I was really shooting to get this surgery before the end of the year. And was told, no, don't worry about it. Got home that day. There was a letter from Cigna in my mailbox that was saying, we need more information. And so of course now I'm panicking, thinking, oh, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. And back and forth with the coordinator yesterday, and then today she calls and says, oh, we've already gotten your approval. So as it turns out, my packet was submitted October 31st. My very final paper, so the completion of my packet, was sent over on November 5th, and then today, November 7th, which is actually my mom's birthday, was given my approval. So it is very quick for me, and I just honestly feel so blessed. And just quickly, part of the reason I think that I feel so blessed, I've been a little bit contemplative today because it is, I mentioned my mom's birthday. She passed away about 1.5 years ago now, July 31st, 2012. And she passed away from a type of lung cancer that is pretty much reserved for people who smoke, called oat cell carcinoma. It is a super aggressive, inoperable, incurable form of small cell lung cancer that is found 98% of the time in smokers, 2% of the time in people who work in asbestos mines, and never in anybody else. And when she was diagnosed with this cancer, of course, it was a shock. But as she went through the process of sort of trying to extend her life and experiencing the grief that comes from dying as a young person, she was 56, and as she kind of went through the process of her grief, one of the things that really compounded her grief was the fact that she was dying from something that she might have been able to change. There had been many intersections in her life where she had been given the opportunity or had pursued the opportunity to quit smoking, and though she was a smoker, she was actually diligent about getting lung scans and x-rays to make sure she was not, had no mass, had no tumor. And unfortunately, this kind of cancer, unless it clusters, doesn't show up that way. And so it was a surprise to her. And anyway, compounded her grief by knowing that she could have done something all along. So when she passed away, that impacted me and made me feel like, okay, now is really the time to do this. It's the time to pursue this surgery. And since then, just have had my own personal positive intersections to make this happen. So I'm very excited. Approval today. I had to share that good news. And my surgery, I have my pre-op appointment next week and start my diet the following week, and my surgery is scheduled for December 3rd. So just around the corner, less than a month. I cannot believe it. I will pop in from time to time and keep you all, on the up and up, what's going on with me. So anyway, keep your videos coming. Thanks again so much for making them. I guess stats, right now I am 5'7", used to be 5'10". Weight-bearing fractures in my feet have caused my arches to fall, so I'm 5'7", and starting weight was 267, 41 and change BMI. So there you go. Keep you updated. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.